Okay. All right. Good evening and blessings to everyone that is joining in. And so, unfortunately, as you probably saw, I had to cancel yesterday because the woman of God that I had coming, she is in the situation in Texas. And so she was not able to be with us due to obviously electricity issues, connectivity issues with the internet and things of that nature. So that is why I was not on last night. Just in case you didn't see it, I did post to explain why I was not going to be on last night, but I wanted to make sure I shared that again. And so we kicked it off very well on Monday with Pastor Gigi. And then last night it was supposed to be Lady Tamil, but she was not able to be with us, like I said, because she's down in Texas. And so blessings to you. God bless you. To everybody that is joining in, please take a moment and share this. And so this is going to be day 3 of the Women in Business. And so I put this together because I've been saying for a while that there is a wind on business and entrepreneurship. And so I believe I know that God has been pushing some people in that area. I also believe and know that God has been giving some people some ideas, and even some people, the Lord has been reminding you of things He already spoken. He's reminding you of things that He's already given you to do. He's been reminding you of things and prophetic words and things that from years ago. And so this is a time where God is really breathing on some of those dead dreams. He's breathing on some of those old visions. And this is definitely a time to position yourself and to really execute and to really begin to get some acceleration and momentum in the area of business and entrepreneurship if that is where God is leading you. And the reason I said if that is where God is leading you is because you can do something and it not be God and God not really be backing you. And so you want to make sure that whatever you're doing in business, you're not doing it because you see someone else doing it. Just like I said with Pastor Gigi the other day, she's uber successful. But I'm not going to go out and try to start a chain of daycares because I don't have the grace that she has, and God has not told me to do that. And so make sure that what you're doing as God is leading you is what the Lord has given you to do. And it's what God has really put into your spirit. And so tonight, I just want to encourage those. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey in entrepreneurship because everybody's journey is not the same. Everybody's road is not the same. That's in life and that's in God. Our backgrounds, our journey, our situations, it all is going to vary and be different. But one of the things I want to encourage you guys in the area of is that if you have a business idea or if you have a desire to step into entrepreneurship, do not let a lack of finances stop you. Many times, number one, if it's God's will, is His bill. But also, if God is truly giving you the vision, He's going to make a way. I always say, if God told you to do it, He's got to make a way. He's not going to tell you to do something and then not make a way for you to accomplish it. And so I like what Pastor Gigi said. She talked about being prepared. I think it's important and it's imperative, even behind the scenes. I've been doing some preparatory things for my business, positioning things, and things of that nature. So I think it's very important that we recognize the need to make sure that our ducks are in a row. That means our paperwork. I've been guilty of not taking care of stuff like that. Our accounting and our bookkeeping. I've been guilty of not keeping up with stuff like that the way I should. And so I want to share with you guys some resources and some things that can help you because everybody does not have a huge budget. But I don't believe some fees are like $9.99 a month. I mean, a lot of times we spend more than that on one day on fast food. So $9.99 per month to get some of the services and things you need is not something that's out of the ordinary. And so the first thing I want to suggest to anybody that if you are trying to get into entrepreneurship is that you make sure that you take the time to register your entity legally with your state so that you are legal to do business and doing things, the correct way and the proper way. Every state is different. And so one thing I want to suggest is Legalzoom. If you need the ability to have a lawyer look over something, if you need to ask some legal questions and you don't have a huge budget, you might want to consider Legalzoom. They have options, I think, for like $9.99 a month, where you can, by paying that membership, you will be able to have access to talk to attorneys and talk to lawyers. Because I think sometimes that's a big thing. And sometimes, like what Pastor Gigi was saying, if she would have had that wise counsel, that situation that she shared with on Monday with the city of Chicago shutting her down never would have happened. And so sometimes that wise counsel is good. God bless you too. And so that wise counsel is good. So that's legalzoom.com. You can check them out. They are, they will charge you for a lot of things. Some things you can do on your own. They will file your paperwork for your 501c3. I think they'll do your paperwork for your business, but a lot of times there are cheaper options. And especially when it comes to just registering a regular for-profit business, it will probably be cheaper for you to just do it yourself. I do mine on my own. I pay the $50 fee and then it's done. So the first time I set up an LLC, I actually did use LegalZoom, and I realized I wasted money on a form that literally has 4 lines and you put a money order with it, or you pay it online or whatever. And so I did want to put that out there. And so LegalZoom is an option. So I want you guys to be able to have some resources, because I know everybody does not have the same budget. Everybody does not have a $10,000-$20,000 budget. Everybody does not have access to people that can give them a loan or to borrow money for them or whatever it is. Everybody's credit is not in a place where they can go and just outright get a business loan. And so we probably want to all make sure that we, are working on our credit and progressing our credit. But I just wanted to share some different resources that may be things that can help you along the way. So like I said, LegalZoom, I believe, between $9 and $12 a month. You can get you can have lawyers review paperwork. You don't want to sign some weird document and you don't know the legal terminology, or you don't really know what it's saying. You could end up selling your kidney, signing a contract and not realizing it. So you want to make sure that you're getting that legal advice. And so that's something that can help, because I know for me, when I've sat down and to retainer, everybody does not have $1,500 to pull out of their pocket to retain attorneys. And so you may not be in a position where you can outright get an attorney and retain them, but you are in a position where you can get some legal advice. And so $9.99 is not a lot. People pay more for their nails. They pay more for their phones. They pay more for fast food and snacks. And so $9.99 a month, that's $2.50 per week. Put $2.50 in your banking account and let it be on auto draft. And so I wanted to share that. I also wanted to share for those that are in the area of branding, I'm going to have Sherilyn on. Sherilyn is coming on Saturday. Sherilyn is going to be on with me live. Tomorrow is going to be Anise, but then after that, it's going to be Sherilyn. And so Sherilyn is your branding expert when it comes to, having that, that high quality graphics. If you've ever seen her stuff, when I do pay for flyers, that is who does my stuff. Other than that, I do a lot of my stuff in Canva. So like the flyers for this event, if you've seen the little graphics that were floating around for the women in business, that was just stuff that I played around and did in Canva. And so that's stuff that I take the time and teach people how to do. And so I'll share a little bit more about that later, because I know everybody does not have a budget where you can say that you can hire a graphic designer so many months at a time, or paying somebody to do everything. And so sometimes we have to learn how to do things on our own. And so I do, one thing I do in business is my ready to DIY business. I do self-publishing courses, teaching people how to publish their books from start to finish on their own, even including like distribution, how you can get it on like Walmart.com, Target.com and stuff like that. I also do the DIY branding, showing people how to build their own websites, how to maximize Canva, how to use Canva. I use Canva all the time. I do have an upgraded account, because you can get an account for free, but I do use Canva. I have the paid account. It's like $12 a month. It is like the best $12 I have. That one of the best $12 that I spend. Another thing, if you are struggling, with different things, Fiverr is a tool. Fiverr is a website that allows customers to connect with freelance people. So if you're trying to get a like a commercial done, an audio commercial, there are people that can do that. If you saw the little promo video I did for my business and mental health class that I did earlier this month, I did that. Somebody put that together for me on Fiverr for like $20. If you have ever seen any of those 3D book trailers, I get those done on Fiverr for like $20. the first time I got one done, I paid a ridiculous amount because I didn't know any better. And so Fiverr a lot of times can save you money, but I do always warn and tell people that with Fiverr, you want to make sure that you are dealing with people that have been selling services for a while, that have great reviews, and that are either a top seller or a level 2 seller. That's very important to make sure that you're getting quality. You also want to make sure that you're dealing with someone that's not trying to knock or be funny, that speaks English very well. I have struggled with some of the people that I've talked to. Eventually I was able to get it done. They did an excellent job, but sometimes there can be a language barrier when you're dealing with people in other countries. Fiverr has saved me so much money. Like, I'm getting ready to have them do, a couple of, little audio visual things for me. They can do voiceover stuff. They can do podcast intros, like all that stuff. And a lot of stuff starts at $5. Now, again, you want to make sure you check the quality. You want to check the review section, because a lot of times the review section, people will share what they had made so that you can see the quality, because some of those sellers will take other people's work and put their stamp on it to make it look like they're them. But trust me, there are a lot of great people on there. There are a lot of professionals on there. When I've needed business plans done, when I've needed press releases done, all that stuff, you can get it done right on Fiverr. And so I love Fiverr because you can get stuff at a much lower price. Normally, you ask somebody to do a business plan. I'm talking about a good solid one, and it will be hundreds of dollars. You could probably get it done on Fiverr, a decent one, for $50 to $75. And so you're saving a lot of money. Same thing, like I said, I've gotten some videos done, like short little video clips and stuff done for literally $5. And so these are some things that you're going to need to know. And these are some things you're going to need along the way, because you don't want to put all your money in, certain areas if you're not, really investing in the actual business itself. And so sometimes you have to do what you can to build your brand until your business becomes more profitable, and then you can put more money into your business and building your brand. And so, but for those that are ready, I got Sherilyn coming on. She's a beast. She is probably, I say she's the best graphic designer out there. You ain't got to hunt her down. She's not going to take your money and disappear. None of that stuff. I've been working with her for 5 years, going on 6 years. I've never had one issue with Sherilyn, ever. She's a woman of God. She's a woman of integrity. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people have been burnt by these fake graphic designers in the church that take your money and disappear. They just vanish into thin air once they get the money, or they stop replying to you, or you work with them once and they do good. Then after that, the customer service declines. Once you get a good person, you can work with them over and over if it's their specialty. That's very true. And one thing I will say about graphic designers, you have to know what their specialty is. All graphic designers are like hairstylists. Everybody is not for the same thing. And so, like, some hairstylists are great with colors, some are great with cutting, some are great with natural hair, some are great with relaxed hair and short hairstyles. And so it's the same with graphic designers. Some are good with websites, some are good with flyers, some are great with book covers. Like Sherilyn, like, if you need a media kit done, a book cover, a social media teaser, like stuff like that, that is your person. She is excellent at that stuff, them book covers and stuff like that, and those media kits, and like giving your brand a look, getting your brand colors together, getting your brand developed, getting your brand to a point where you have a strong message. That's who you want to talk to. You're going to want to set a consultation up with Sherilyn. And so she's excellent. So she's going to be in on a couple in 2 days later. And then tomorrow, Anise is going to come on, and Anise is a strategist. She's very prophetic, and she's one that will come with a lot of coaching and a lot of strategizing and really help unlock you. If you're stuck, she will get you unstuck. If you don't know what to do, she will help you gather a plan together. And so, these are definitely people you may want to book consultations with or book a session with, so that they can really help you along the way. Because I will say one thing, when it comes to, business and getting it out there and growing it, eventually, whether it's somewhere along the line, you're going to have to invest money in your stuff. And so, sometimes I do know, we may not have the budget. And so we got to do what we got to do to get going. However, you can't put a heavy price ticket on something that looks horrible. You can't put a heavy price ticket on something that looks unprofessional. You can't put a heavy price ticket on things that are not acceptable. And so, the same way that you're probably very picky about how things look and feel and smell and stuff like that, when you've put money into it and you're paying for it, that's the same way your customers are going to look at things as well. And so you want to make sure that you are giving people quality. And so that's why I was like, certain things, if you can't afford it, to go to your favorite person, or if you can't afford certain people, because I will say this, like, Sherilyn isn't so expensive that you can't afford her, but she's not cheap either. She's not the kind, if you're looking for a $10 flyer, that's not who you go to. I don't mind paying her how much she charges for a flyer, because I know when she gets it done, it's going to look absolutely magnificent, and she's going to knock it out of the ballpark every time. And she's going to come up with a graphic that is eye-catching, that is going to be appealing to people, that is going to help me get an ROI, a return on my investment. Whatever it is I'm doing, when Sherilyn puts her stamp on it, it's going to do what it was supposed to do. It's going to get me attention. It's going to connect me with my audience. And so that's one of the main thing. And so for me, I have, and like I said, it's one thing to, to have to, know you're on a tight budget. You got to do what you got to do. However, when you're saying that you want TD Jakes results, put your stuff next to his graphic wise and ask yourself, where does it measure up? And so you want to make sure that your deliverables, that means everything that's visible about your business cards, your website, your logo, all that stuff, you want to make sure that it's at the level that you're trying to get to, and it's at the level that you're trying to go. And so sometimes that may mean that you have to build slow. You have to be patient. When I first started out in business, I was selling hair, and I still kick myself in the butt to this day that I stopped selling hair, because I was selling hair in other countries. Folks was buying, hair was going to the UK. I mean, I had a thing going, and I kept money going in the business because I set up layaway plans for the hair, because people love, I don't even wear extensions, but people love hair extensions. And so I'll be like, okay, you know what? You can get this many bundles and this closure, and this is the price when it's packaged together, and you put this much down to put it on a layaway plan. If you default on your layaway plan, you can use that as an in-store credit, but there's no refunds. And so that layaway plan by itself kept my hair business constantly making money. I paid for professional packaging. My stuff went in professional boxes like you would see in any hair store. I had the stuff designed. I researched vendors and stuff for a long time, probably over a year, before I actually decided to put my foot into it. And so they're also, no matter what you're trying to do in business, you have to take the time to research, to make sure that you're doing, whatever it is you're trying to do, that you're going in the right direction. I've had a lot of people tell me that they put money into the wrong thing, or I've had a lot of people say that, they wish they wouldn't have wasted money on this and this. I think sometimes, when we do have liquid cash to put into our business, it's very important that we know where to put the finances. We know where to put the money. This is the same thing I tell authors all the time. I will listen to authors, and they will put all this money into printing books, but then they put no money into selling books. I was like, you don't have no marketing plan. You don't have no type of way to connect your book with your audience. You didn't even take the time to even build an audience before you put this book out here. So now you're coming to me because you got 500 books sitting in your garage and no one's buying it. And so you want to make sure that you're taking your time. Even like my daughter, she runs a little business. My daughter's business is Sugar Sweet Bath and Body Treats. And so I have been helping her build this business slowly over time. Listen, everything is not going to happen quick, fast, and in a hurry. Everything is not going to happen, overnight. We have to be okay with building things slowly and consistently over time. We have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with the journey and the process. One of the reasons why a lot of people quit is because they do not see a quick turnaround. They don't, like, Pastor Gigi, I loved her story. She talked about how her trauma turned into a business that has made her millions with an S. But guess what? That was a 14-year journey. That wasn't a 14-week journey or a 14-month journey. We give up too quick because we want things to happen so quick. But I like the scripture where it talks about, oh Lord, I can't even think of it by heart. It basically talks about when you get things quickly, it can dwindle. I can't think of the exact scripture, but the point is you have to be okay with building the business, because if it gets too big overnight and you haven't built an infrastructure, what are you going to do? My background, I worked in some of the world's largest companies in quality control and quality assurance. So I know what an infrastructure of a major company looks like. I know what the ingredients look like. I know what the inside looks like, to keep the wheels turning, so to speak. And so sometimes we have to realize we have to take the time to actually build the business, actually build the infrastructure. It's like, it's great to, to get sales and to have all that stuff going, but you also have to make sure that you're actually taking the time to build the business. That's why I love Anise, and she's going to be on with us tomorrow. She is taking the time to slowly build her business. She's doing like a skincare line. She does like skincare products and stuff like that, and I buy the stuff. But she has been rolling her business out slowly over time for years. For some years, she's been slowly rolling her business out, getting the kinks out, tweaking it, seeing what works and what doesn't work before she does her hard, large rollout. What good would it be if you rush into a business with a product and you get 50,000 units hurried up and manufactured, and then you find out that it's no good, or you found out that the business is no good, or you find out, or the product, I mean, that the product is not any good and that the product is failing. So then what do? Now you've put all your money into something that wasn't worth. So that's why I'm saying, like, we have to learn to be patient. We got the same patience that God is talking about in scripture. We need that patience in business. We need that patience in realizing it may be some long days and long nights. It may be some years before your business really gets where you want it to be. I like Jalen LeGrand. He owns the 316 collection. He's been running that business, I believe, since I think he said he was like 17 years old, and he started with, like, what was it, 28 cents or 36 cents or something like that. Getting his business in the mall. His business name even changed. It used to be called Religious Expressions before it became 316. And he had multiple locations in malls. And then he ended up shutting those locations down due to COVID-19. But now his business is more profitable than ever before. And so we have to learn to, we're prophetic. Y'all can see what socks I got on because, you so deep in the spirit. We need to take that same prophetic edge and allow the Holy Spirit to lead us in business. We got to take that same prophetic edge and allow ourselves to hear God to lead and direct us in our business practices. Like, I'd be like, God, I don't even know what to do. You got to tell me what to do next, because I'm just out here lost. I feel like I'm up a creek with no paddle. And God will give you direction. It's okay to just be honest with him. Be like, God, I don't know what to do. I feel stuck. We have to learn to be honest with God, because he already know anyway. And so we have to use the prophetic as our advantage, even in business, allowing ourselves to see what God is saying about our business, allowing God to allow God to show us so that we can see what he's saying and hear what he's saying about our business, so that we know what to do next, so that we know what he's telling us to do, so that he can literally order our steps. The Bible says what? The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. And so I'm just giving you guys some very practical stuff, because, when it comes to branding and when it comes to, getting a coach and getting a strategist, that stuff is great, but you got to have a foundation. You got to make sure listen, like I said, paperwork is right. Making sure you're registered with the state, getting your EIN and all that stuff. Depending on your business, you may even have to be licensed or insured. Insured and bonded and all these different things. And so you have to know what it takes in your industry, what is required. This is why I said take your time and do the research process, because you may find, like, okay, you know what, in my line of business, you got to be insured and bonded. Okay, in my line of business, you got to have you got to have certain certifications, and your business has to have certain certifications and different things like that to be able to get things. And depending on what your goals are, if you're trying to get government contracts and stuff like that, like we have to make sure that we take the time to build the foundation. I've even had to go back over the years and fix some stuff and clean some stuff up and redo some things all over again. Yes, I see that. Financial software, absolutely. Intuit QuickBooks. You can do QuickBooks, or they even have packages where the people will do it for you. I don't like doing that kind of stuff. Just do it for me. Let me send you a screenshot of these receipts. Let me send you these invoices, because I'm not going to be sitting at this computer tootling around all the time. And so you may, have them do it, or you may have to do it yourself, whatever. And so, your financial software, I told you guys about, Legalzoom, to try to, for $9.99, it's worth a shot to try to at least have some type of access to some type of legal counsel, if you don't have thousands of dollars put to the side for that, because it may be something that can help you, save you from taking your business over a cliff, or, making some type of decision that takes you in the wrong way, or that causes you to lose a lot of money by putting money in stuff that you really don't need. And I got to say this, how do I put this? I always tell people, you pay for your ignorance. When you set up a business, when you register a book and stuff like that, you're immediately going to start getting emails and stuff coming to you in the mail. People trying to sell you stuff you do not need. And so please, before you spend a bunch of money, before you put a bunch of money into something, somebody telling you that you need something, it may not even be something you need, because people play off your ignorance. I've had to help some people that were about to throw a whole bunch of money away. I was like, you don't need that. You're wasting money. They're scamming you. I mean, they're preying on your ignorance. I don't want to call it a scam. The stuff is legit, but it's stuff you don't need, and you'll waste a lot of money. Or you have to recognize with some things you may not need it now. And so, yeah, somebody said Legal Shield. I prefer, different stuff. Everybody do their own thing, whether you get a lawyer, whether you do Legal Shield, whether you do Legalzoom. You just want to have some type of access that you can afford for some type of legal advice. And so those are, business credit is a good thing, but that's, you got to have your DUNS number and all that stuff. And I'm not an expert in that stuff, and so I don't really talk about it. I think business credit is a great thing if people are educated on it and they know what they're doing, and they do things right, and they're in a position to make sure that they are not setting themselves up to put their business in more debt than they can actually handle, because people do that as well. And I'm listening to this lady. She put her business in so much debt that she literally had a line of credit on her house to try to pay the loans back for her business, while still also having to pay her mortgage. And the business was bleeding. What I mean by bleeding, it wasn't making any money. And so that means constantly robbing Peter to pay Paul. Okay, I got to max my credit cards out for this, and you don't want to do that. And so I don't recommend anybody get themselves or their business in any unnecessary debt, especially when it's debt that you cannot and you are not in a position to handle. And so I always tell people, just because you can does not mean that you should. And sometimes it's not even that you need to spend more money or have access to more money. You just have to put your efforts into the right thing and into the right place. And so, yeah, so just wanted to share that stuff about, laying the foundation. And so, yeah, I definitely recommend, talking to that wise counsel. If you have the money, I definitely, if you have the money available, then I wholeheartedly say get that legal advice, talk to those business attorneys, because sometimes you may be setting your business up under the wrong type of structures. I've seen people set up for-profits when it should have been a 501c3. I've seen people set their business up as an LLC, and it should have been a PLLC, which is a professional limited liability company. And so knowing what structure you need, getting the business set up, making sure your paperwork is in order. You can do QuickBooks and stuff like that to help you with keeping up with your expenses and, the money that's going out and the money that's going in. And you can have that stuff together over the course of the year, so that when it's time to do your taxes, you have it available. And so these are just some of the things that I wish I knew early on, and that I've had to find out on my own because I didn't have anybody that would help me. Because the mindset is, well, I get it, with some things, you got to pay people for their information and pay people for their time. But some stuff, I think we should be kind enough to realize that everybody doesn't have money to pay thousands of dollars to learn something that takes 10 minutes. And so that's why I put this event together. And so tomorrow, like I said, we're going to be back with a niece, and she's excellent with business strategies and coaching. And so I also do business strategies and stuff like that myself. And so that information is on my website if you're interested in working with me. Also, I do have coming up, I believe in March, I'm doing another DIY branding course. And so if you want to learn how to use Canva, if you want to learn how to set up and maintain your own website because you don't have a budget for that, then that's something you're going to want to invest in. And so I forgot the coupon code, but I am going to have a coupon code for you guys. So if you're interested, you can just reach out and I can give you the coupon code to where the course is only going to be it's going to be a reduced price. And so this is, I think, a 4-hour live course with me. And so you'll be able to ask questions and different things like that, because the last class I did was my DIY self-publishing. And so if you're interested in learning how to self-publish, I would admonish you to get signed up for the next course for that. And I have some other courses that are on that website as well. And so that's readytodiy.com. I'll put that up there because Lord knows I will forget. But yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that is going on and that I wanted to share with you guys, because I just want you to know that sometimes, we have great ideas and we don't know what to do. We have great ideas and we're stuck. We have great ideas and we feel like we can't move forward because of finances. I always tell people, sometimes if you need a specialist and you can't afford somebody, sometimes use a college student that is almost done with their degree. So like if you need somebody that, I don't know, somebody that is good with maybe coding or something like that, you may want to reach out to some local universities and see if college students will do it at a lower price. And then you would give them a business reference and, saying that you were a client to kind of help them launch out there. And so that's stuff that I have done for a lot of stuff. I've used college students that were like right around junior seniors, if not just flat out seniors, that knew 90%, 95% of, what they would be doing in the workplace, because that gives them real life experience, and that gives you access to someone that is going to be an expert in that field that just lacks experience. And so that you're giving them experience, that you tell them that that you would, as long as they do a good job and do what they have to do, you would give them an excellent reference, and that you would anybody can call and get a reference. Yeah, it is a good idea because it's something I've done. I've done it over and over, because you talk to people and be like, okay, $5 million. Okay, I can't do that. So let me call a college student. And, a lot of times they are willing to do it at a lower rate. That does not mean you're getting it for free. That does not mean you get over on people trying to get 30 days worth of work for $15. Let's be realistic in all our doing. But you may be able to get it at a lower price by finding some college students, or if your business is set up, you may be able to pay them as an internship, which still would probably be a lot cheaper than hiring an experienced worker. And so that is some of the stuff I've done. So make sure you also check out Fiverr and Canva and resources like that. I think somebody said Legal Shield. I said Legalzoom, stuff like that. If you cannot afford an attorney, just to have somebody that maybe can answer a question every now and then, or look over, maybe some paperwork or something you had a question with, especially if you're getting ready to sign a contract or give a contract. And so you want to make sure your stuff, getting stuff offline free is cool. But if it's not tailor-made to your state, you could be signing a contract that locks you up in a negative way. And then also it may not really give you the legal protection you want and you need. That's why it's important to have an attorney look those things over. Or a lot of attorneys now are doing they do services. They just charge you for individual services. So like if I need a document drafted, I know some attorneys right now can just say, hey, I need this document drafted. And then they'll say, okay, this is a flat fee of this much, or you got to pay this much per hour, that type of thing. And so those are some of the things to think about and to really consider, making sure that, we're getting our paperwork in order, because listen, there's a lot of money coming down with this PPP and all this different stuff. And so you want to make sure that your organization is legit and that you're properly registered and your paperwork and stuff is in order, so that you don't miss out on all this grant money and all these opportunities that are out here right now. Leverage LinkedIn and ask questions and message after connecting. Yeah, that can work. It just depends on the type of person, because a lot of times when you talk about people like lawyers and stuff like that, they're going to be very apprehensive, because they're going to say, hey, I'm not giving out legal advice, or they may just say nothing to protect themselves from any type of backlash. And so you can try that, to try to leverage and ask questions, but the best thing is to go through the front door and not the back door. And then sometimes you have to realize that people are not experts in things they claim to be experts in, and somebody can give you the best bad advice that you've ever gotten. And so so that's all I have for today. And so I want you guys to be encouraged. I want you guys to, really write that vision out. We always talk about write the vision, make it plain and all that, but I think we got to really look at the first part of that passage that says, I will wait on my watch to see what he is saying. So before the vision is written, you need to actually see what God is saying, because what you don't want to be doing is trying to duplicate somebody else's vision. You don't want to. I did a video. If you didn't see it, please watch it. It says, don't try to duplicate somebody else's success. A lot of people do stuff like that. They'll see, well, this person did this and it worked for them, and they try to do the same thing and it backfires. And so you want to do what God has given you a grace to do. And so if you don't know, you're going to have to ask the Lord to really show you where your grace is, where your strength lies, and where you should be putting your effort, and what it is that you really should be doing. And so thank you guys. So I will be back tomorrow with Anise. And so Anise is dynamic. And then the day after that, we're going to be back with Sherilyn, because Sherilyn is going to, for those that can, that can afford it and you're ready, you're going to want to book Sherilyn. She will take your brand to the next level. She has excellent clientele. If you've ever heard the gospel singer Jacqueline Carr, that's what she is, her brand manager. And so if you see Jacqueline Carr stuff and you're like, oh, that's nice, that's Sherilyn. And so she's going to be on in 2 days. And so I promise you guys, you're going to love, 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 love her. But to those that are like, hey, I'm balling on a budget, check out readytodiy.com. I do have a coupon code for the courses that are coming up. You'll see the dates on there. And so if you reach out, I'll get the coupon code, because I forgot to put it on here tonight. And so thank you guys for tuning in. And so let's keep this momentum going. Let's build these businesses. Let's go forward and do what God has given us to do. And let's do this and do it with excellence and to the best of our ability. I love you guys, and good night.